All right, I'd like to call this special committee of the whole meeting to order. It is Monday, January 26th at 4:06. And Addie, would you remotely call the roll?
Cobb.
Here.
Larson.
Here.
Bosch.
Here.
DeWitt Foy.
Here.
Cohen. Kuda.
Here. Let me just say that Councilwoman Cohen is still working and couldn't be here. All right, today we're here to talk to Michael Reese. He's the nominee for city administrator, the mayor's nominee. And Mr. Reese is on Zoom with us. Welcome, Mr. Reese.
Thank you. Glad to be here.
We're going to do some questions now and then some questions in executive session. If you could, we're just going to go around the horn here, but if you'd like to say a few words before we actually start the interview, you're welcome to do that.
Yeah, I think the mayor may introduce me or may want to talk first.
Would you like to do that?
Sure. I am pleased to nominate Mr. Michael Reese to become our city's next city administrator. We received over 50 applications for the position, and we interviewed 13 candidates, and I was really pleased with our 2 interviews with Mr. Reese. It seems like he has a depth of experience and knowledge that our city would really benefit from. It seemed like any issue that we brought up, he seemed to have experience with, and I really appreciated that. And so I really look forward to council members being able to ask questions of Mr. Reese, and we're happy to provide his contact information so that if you'd like to have additional conversations with him or if other questions come to mind, you're welcome to reach out to him.
Wonderful. And Mr. Reese is in Toledo right now.
Yes.
Would you like to say a few words?
Yeah, I would. Thank you, President and Vice President, members of council, and residents of Cleveland Heights. So I'm just going to give a quick overview of my career. First of all, I was born and raised in Toledo, Ohio. I'm the son of a police officer and office manager. I'm a first-generation college graduate. I have 27 years in government experience total, with 22 years of that at the local level. I spent the bulk of my career in Columbus, that's 19 years, and I was chief of staff for 9 years to Mayor Coleman, who was the first black elected mayor of Columbus. And he served for 16 years. In Columbus, we accomplished some great things together as a team. I worked very closely with the city council there. We achieved AAA bond ratings for 9 consecutive years. Worked really hard to invest in our infrastructure, sustainability efforts, and a real focus on core city services and economic development and transforming our downtown. After I served in the city of Columbus, I was in the private sector for about 4.5 years, and decided I wanted to get back into the public sector, and was recruited for an opportunity in Maplewood, Missouri, just outside inner ring suburb of St. Louis. We accomplished great things in Maplewood. When I went there, I was their city manager. When I went there, I inherited a situation where the budget and credit rating was outlook negative, and in just a year, we turned that around to outlook stable. And we implemented a lot of reforms, like transforming our police department, increasing the amount of community resource officers on foot and bike patrol, and many other things as a team we accomplished. We also adopted Welcome Maplewood, a program that I created working with the community, council members, the mayor, and staff. And I believe council we shared that program with you via email. Happy to talk more about that if you have any questions. As far as my departure from Maplewood, just to proactively address this, I served in Maplewood for a little bit over 2 years. As my second year was coming to a close, 5 of the 7 council members had changed. And the mayor was one of those council members, but 5 of the 7 changed. And it became clear that they wanted their own city manager. So I had a choice to make. Did I want to stay for another year or move on to other opportunities in local government. So I approached the council and we entered into a mutual separation agreement where I was paid a severance. And I exited very quietly and clean. And after my exit, there was quite a bit of, it was contentious and divisive about how they went about appointing my successor, and led to several articles in the St. Louis Post-Dispatch, which I believe we shared those articles with you as well via email. So I left Maplewood, and I'm very excited about serving in local government, especially in Ohio, and especially in Northeast Ohio and Cleveland Heights. When I was aware of this opportunity back in the summer, as I thought there would be an opportunity for a new city administrator, I actually went to Cleveland Heights and toured the area, spent some time in your neighborhoods, your parks, your business corridors, ate at Tommy's restaurant, and checked out the city and really just kind of fell in love with it. So I'm very excited about the opportunity. The focus on basic core services are very, very appealing to me. And I've committed to live in Cleveland Heights should council approve me. And so that's kind of my opening comments, and look forward to your questions. Thanks very much.
All right, thank you, Mr. Reese. Who would like to go first? All right, Vice President.
Thank you. Nice to meet you, Mr. Reese. I'm particularly interested in talking to you about budget, because one of the tents that you will be posting yourself under, and our budget's really crucial to us in terms of keeping the city running. On your bio, you listed as a highlight under fiscal responsibility that you managed a $2.57 billion budget for the city of Columbus, and during your tenure achieved a AAA bond rating for 9 consecutive years. I'm not certain if you are aware, but Cleveland Heights does not currently have a credit rating.
I am aware of that.
Okay, this is a great concern for many of us. What steps would you see yourself taking along with the finance department to restoring our credit rating? And just as an FYI, we are currently still waiting for the results of the state audit for 2023 and 2024.
Sure. Well, first of all, it's a team effort. Things that we accomplished in the budget in both Columbus and Maplewood were team efforts. So I'm going to work with the entire team, staff, the mayor, council members, and the community on this. We will assure that going forward, we will meet state of Ohio deadlines and be compliant with those efforts, making sure contractors are paid, and that when we forward a budget to council, it's a complete budget and one that you can adopt for 12 months rather than in a temporary way. When you're dealing with the budget, it's a year-round process. It's important that you put in place mechanisms, and I'll work with the finance director on this, where you're monitoring revenues and expenses closely, that you're maximizing revenues, that you're controlling expenses and holding departments accountable to live within their means. And you're also looking for opportunities for efficiencies and cost savings. And when I was in Columbus, we engaged in a 3-point plan during the Great Recession years of 2007 to 2009 to increase revenues, be more aggressive with job creation, and implement reforms and efficiencies. And it really saved our city as we were able to invest again in the future of Columbus at that point. So I also think it's really important to align budgets and operations to strategic plans. I get very, very excited about budgets because that's when collectively we identify our priorities as a city. And then also I get very excited about strategic planning efforts. And I've got a lot of experience in that regard. And so I think if we're able to put together a strategic plan working with the entire team, we can align the budget to that plan so that, we're very focused in our recommendations and decisions.
Thank you.
Thank you. Councilman DeWitt Foy, make sure you raise your hand or something so I see that. Do you have any questions?
I'll just piggyback off that.
Yeah.
So you said on the 3-point plan you had sort of coming out of the Great Recession. And let me just start by saying thank you for your time, and I look forward to talking with you, and nice to meet you.
Thank you, Council.
But if you could elaborate a little bit specifically on the increasing revenue side, and what were some of the strategies and tactics you employed during your time in Columbus?
Sure. Well, first off, we had 2 recessions in the first 10 years. One right after 9/11, and then the second one, 2007 to 2009, the Great Recession. And so we did things differently. We created a one-stop shop department, consolidating our plan review, permitting, and inspection services. And we took that service off of the general fund and increased fees that developers were paying. And so that saved us money because we took the subsidy away from the general fund to that operation, and we became a better city and leaner and more effective in supporting economic development and neighborhood development, working with the development community. And then as we approached the second recession, for the first year and a half or two, we were cutting programs. We were laying people off, implementing furloughs, really cutting back on services. And then it came to a point where we just couldn't do that anymore. So I worked very closely with the mayor and council, our business community, our neighborhood leaders, and we put together a 3-point plan. The increasing revenues came in 2 areas. We went to the citizens for a tax increase, an income tax increase, and we were successful in August of 2009, going from 2% to 2.5%. And the reason why we were successful, I think, is because there was trust in our government that we had done everything we could to avoid it, and it was the last resort. And they believed us that we were going to have to lay off a lot more employees and cut services. And then the second part of that equation, Counselor, was, we were very focused and more aggressive with job creation efforts, aligning city operations and programs and incentives to promoting job growth, which thereby increased our revenues as well. So that's how we increased revenues in Columbus, and it was very much a team effort.
Great, thanks.
Thank you.
Please.
Michael, it's nice to make your acquaintance. My name is Jim Posh. I am a 2-year council person here. I'm very looking forward to seeing you fill the seat. This is something that we've needed. It's been kind of long overdue of having a very solid mayor. I use the word city manager, but city administrator position, and one that works well with the council. I do have a question about your management style.
Sure.
Can you just share kind of how you would define how you manage and what your style is?
Sure, thank you. Well, I think it starts with being an active listener. I've actually participated in some coaching to improve how you can be an active listener. And so I think that's really important when you're dealing with staff and elected officials in the community. I believe in robust communication. I will communicate and be very transparent with this body, with staff and the community, and I will expect the same in return. I'm going to be out and about. I'm going to be listening a lot. I'm going to be learning and asking questions. I'm going to be touring operations, looking at facilities, and doing ride-alongs with different city departments, so I can really understand what's on our employees' minds, allow them to ask questions of me, and what do they need from me to be successful. So that's how I'm going to operate. I believe in setting clear expectations. I think that's really important. I think every employee wants that. I'll certainly want that from the mayor, and then providing regular feedback. Not just once a year or occasionally, but really providing regular feedback to the departments I'll be working with and the department heads. I believe in collaboration and interdepartmental cooperation. Those are things that in government, you're always working every day on those efforts to break down silos and make sure that departments are talking to each other. I think it's also very important to have a diverse staff, one that's reflective of the population, and also diverse perspectives. I'm one that believes it's really important to nurture discussion and get everyone's best advice before making a recommendation or a decision, and not being knee-jerk on those kind of things. I like to deliberate and talk through issues and then be decisive once we have all the information. I'm a balance of being hands-on and delegating. But it's going to be important for me to rely on the team and the expertise they have, providing them proper direction. A couple other things, Counselor, is I'm a big believer in professional growth opportunities. I increased the budget in both Columbus and Maplewood so that people could take advantage of, going back to school or earning a certification or going to a conference and having the opportunity to grow in their area. And also celebrating individual and team success is a big part of how I operate. I'll be very accessible to City Council. The mayor has encouraged me to develop. He has his own relationships with you all, and he has encouraged me to develop relationships with each of you, which I will do on a regular basis, meeting with you, communicating with you regularly, understanding what your expectations of me and your priorities.
Thank you. Other questions? How would you describe your job description as you understand it? What is your charge?
Sure. Well, I've read the charter, and it's pretty clear and direct about things in there that uses the word shall a lot, and so. I shall assist the mayor with preparing the annual budget, and that I shall supervise the departments and help run the day-to-day operations. That I'm supposed to, again, shall provide updates to City Council. I think it talks about semi-annually, so twice a year at a minimum. And so I'll make sure that that is accomplished. That's my understanding of the job, and financial management and managing the departments and the day-to-day operations is how I see it, Mr. President.
Thank you. And we do have a place for you on our agenda, our bi-weekly agenda for a report. Doesn't mean you have to give one every time, but we have that placeholder every other Monday at 7:30. Any other questions?
President.
Yes.
Good afternoon, Mr. Reese. How are you?
Good afternoon.
And we talked earlier, so I don't really have any questions for you, but I think it would be important, unless something's changed, that when we talked, you told me that you had intended to move to Cleveland Heights.
Yes.
And I think that's an important fact that all of the council members would like to hear about.
Yes, well, I've already identified an apartment. Obviously, all this is contingent on your approval, but I'm looking forward to living in Cleveland Heights. I think that's important, and when you're in a city manager or city administrator role, to live in the city that you're working for. I look forward to being active in the community, shopping and dining in the community, volunteering, getting to know residents and my neighbors. So, I'm looking forward to that. And I think Cleveland Heights is a great community.
Thank you. Vice President Larson would like to ask another question.
Cleveland Heights has recently adopted a climate resilience plan, and you listed advancing sustainability practices as one of your highlights with the City of Columbus. Would you please just list 2 or 3 of those practices that you supported and promoted?
Absolutely. Thank you, Vice President. I know there is this climate forward plan in Cleveland Heights, and that's something that attracted me to this opportunity. We put together a Get Green Columbus initiative back around 2005, and for 10 plus years, we advanced best practices and sustainability practices. And so some of the things that we put together, working with the community, and we established a green team to advise us. It was a couple dozen experts and volunteers in the field to give us their best advice. So we put together a comprehensive recycling plan that did not exist prior to that point. And that helps extended the life of our landfill. And also, there was a lot of education involved, community education with that project. We also made our fleet more green, as well as our buildings more energy efficient. So as we renovated buildings, and we built a new building as well on our downtown campus in Columbus, we earned some of the LEED efficiency awards and that kind of thing. We also created in our region all kinds of bike lanes in downtown Columbus, and a regional trail system, trail and greenway system of 230 miles to encourage cycling in our community, as well as walking and jogging and getting outdoors. So those are just some of the things that we did in Columbus. And I look forward to working with you all on this in Cleveland Heights.
Thank you.
You want to ask another question? All right. If there are no additional questions, Councilman Whitford, go
one
ahead.
more,
Yeah.
Mr. President.
Sure.
Mr. Reese, I saw in your bio that you worked with the EPA. I'm not sure if it was a partial consent decree or what it was, but about this sewer issues and minimizing overflows. Wondering if you could just provide some context for that and what you learned from that experience, because that will be relevant here in Cleveland Heights.
Yes, thank you, Counselor. Yeah, when I interviewed in person, my first interview, there were a couple staff in there along with the mayor, and Director Klingscale and I talked about this. So in Columbus in the early 2000s, we entered into a full consent decree with the Ohio EPA and regarding our sanitary sewer overflows. And it took us a little while to finalize that consent decree. And then, we worked really hard with our community to educate them what that meant. We had to increase, we had to do rate increases, regularly over several years to accomplish our new program to be compliant. Again, we spread that out over multiple years so that it was the most affordable way. And we also put together a program for those who couldn't afford the rate increases, where they would get some relief and you could qualify, based on certain income levels. So, very proud of what we accomplished. And as part of that, in the latter years, we created a program called Blueprint, which used green infrastructure to be compliant and as a best practice, with sanitary sewer overflows.
All right. Thank you.
Yes,
Thank you.
please.
I just have a statement. Just as an FYI, as city administrator, you are the vice chair of the Transportation and Mobility Committee, and they meet monthly on the last Wednesday of the month at 6:45. So looking forward to seeing you in that capacity. You are the liaison to the administration from that Citizens Committee. So FYI.
Yes, I thought you might bring that up, Vice President. I saw one of the prior confirmations, so thank you for sharing that. I look forward to participating in that. And one other thing I just want to mention that I forgot to mention in my opening statement, but as kind of an effort to collaborate with council, when I went to Maplewood, I was in a new city. And one of the things I thought that would be really helpful is I asked each council member, these are the actual index cards I used. And I asked each council member to write down 3 or 4 names for me with phone numbers of people that I could meet with in the community, people that are important to you and that will help me kind of hit the ground running. So when I arrive there, I'm going to give each of you an index card. I just bought a new packet, and see if you can fill that out for me so that I can meet some of the folks that you think are important and that help you. And so I just wanted to mention that. Thank you.
Thank you. All right. I'll entertain a motion to go into executive session now.
I'd like to make a motion that we go into executive session to consider the appointment of a public official.
Second.
All right. Do we have, any discussion? All right. Eddie, you want to call the roll?
Cobb,
Aye.
Larson,
Aye.
Posh. Aye. DeWitt Foy,
Aye.
Kuda.
Aye. Okay, we'll return from executive session. We're going to adjourn this meeting at 5:05. And just so people know, we're going into the executive conference room to have an administrative services committee meeting, which will have executive session in it as well. And then we have finance and safety committee following those meetings. So this meeting again is adjourned at 5:05.